Long ago, before the sky turned grey with the smoke of war, a young man named Obiora was the pride of his village. Brave, handsome, and full of dreams. He fell in love with a quiet, strong-hearted maiden named Neka. In the innocence of youth, their love bore fruit. Neka became pregnant. But before Obiora could face his responsibility, the war drum of Biafra thundered across the land. Village burned, families scattered like ashes in the wind. Obiora was drafted. Neka, heavy with child, was taken to safety by her father. They lost contact. Neither knew the fate of others. After the war, Obiora never returned to the village. Instead, he journeyed to Lagos, determined to chase a better life. Luck smiled on him. He became a successful businessman, married a beautiful woman named Adeze, and had a son, Chede. His past remained buried like old bones beneath red earth. Back in the village, Neka raised their daughter, Amaka, in quiet struggle. She told her nothing of her father, only that he had disappeared in the chaos of war. Amaka grew up humble but fiercely kind, the kind of girl whose strength came from carrying burden with a smile. When Amaka turned 21, she left for the city. Amaka with hope and little else. Amaka found a job as a hospital cleaner. Though the uniform was plain and the pay major, she never let go of her dignity. One rainy evening, a young man named Chede was rushed in after a car accident. Amaka was assigned to his ward. Amaka was so kind to Chede. He brought him food, adjusted his pillows, and offered gentle smile. Chede, with bruise and bandage, saw more beauty in her than he ever had in the city guilder. Slowly, they fell in love. But when Chede's parents discovered he was in love with the cleaner from the village, they were furious. Obiora especially saw poverty in her eyes and thought of ambition wasted. But Chede stood firm. If you don't give us your blessings, I will leave this house. Days later, Obiora called Amaka into his office with a cold smile. He offered her money, enough to start a business or leave the city. But Amaka looked him in the eye and said softly, "I don't want your money." Something in her voice stirred a memory long buried. Obiora now called for a formal meeting. "Bring your mother," he said. The day Amaka entered with Neka, time froze. Obiora's hands trembled. Neka gasped, dropping her wrapper. The eyes locked. The years melted. "Neka, Obiora." They began speaking at once. Of war, oh loss. Of the child they never raised together. Tears flew like rain after doubt. The children looked on, stunned. Obiora turned to Chede and Amaka, his voice shaking. "You are brother and sister." Silence, then sobbing. But not just from pain, from relief, from truth, from family rediscovered. The wedding was not to be, but something greater happened. Chede and Amaka became siblings in truth. Their mothers embraced like sisters. The two families, once torn by war and fate, were knit back together by love. And that night, beneath the full moon, the old talking drum beat again in the village square. For joy, for reunion, and for the story that time almost forgot. May be found in peace. Love may be delayed, but truth will always find its way.